I'm Shannon Martin. Tonight, terrifying moments as a road rage incident downtown Toronto is caught on camera.
What are you saying, fam? Yo! What, fam? Yo!
Thankfully, no one is injured. What we've learned about what happened before that video was captured, and before the Blue Jays, there were the Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball Club. Now the team with a storied history is up for sale. And
my hope is that now that I am here, I'll be able to put forward my ideas and recommendations that can better further support the Filipino community.
making history, we'll hear from Richie Valdez, the first Filipina federal cabinet minister, her top priorities in her new job.
This is CBC Late Night News.
Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with some developing news. Police in the Lindsay area are looking for a suspect tonight driving a black pickup truck. Let's show you some photos. They're saying call 911 and do not approach if you see this black 2004 GMC Canyon commercial truck. The Ontario license plate number BE38852. Police say the truck has damage to the front end. There's lots to unpack with this one. We'll continue tracking this story for you, bring you more as we have it. Well, let's turn to that video that's got everyone talking tonight. Police are calling it a road rage incident, and part of it played out on camera.
Man was operating a blue Ford Escape SUV with 3 passengers. The man became involved in a road rage incident with another driver, and he ended up smashing the hood of that vehicle with a collapsible baton. Officers attempted to stop the vehicle. However, the man proceeded to drive through heavy traffic and onto the sidewalk.
Yeah, you can see people pushing strollers there and running as they watch this shocking video. It's now making rounds on social media. You see that blue SUV narrowly missing all those pedestrians. It was near Bremner and Lower Simcoe. There was a Blue Jays game yesterday afternoon. The streets were packed. We spoke with the man who took the video.
Started to honk. He just started to honk aggressively. So we looked behind it. We just see him barreling down the sidewalk. I'll be honest, that was frightening because if he didn't honk, he could have not honked. He could have just played dominoes with us. People were shook. Some people were very angry. You can only imagine just stop traffic, just getting your mirror smashed, and you have no idea what happened.
Police say thankfully there were no reported injuries. They're reminding drivers, have patience, expect delays while driving around downtown during the summertime. Meantime, 2 people have been charged, 2 others were released. We'll take you to Hamilton next, where police continuing to search for a 14-year-old boy who vanished yesterday after going swimming with his friends in Lake Ontario. Officers were called to the Clare and Dexter area around 2:30 Saturday. Police say the teenager was using an inflatable swim toy with a group of friends when he went underwater. The Canadian Coast Guard continued that search today, along with other marine emergency services. Police are urging people to avoid the area, that's so crews can do that critical work. And an update to this story we brought you yesterday. After a man died in a crash near Dixon and Martin Grove, the SIU saying in a statement that the man was fleeing from Toronto police officers. The pickup truck he was driving was believed to be stolen. Officers in unmarked vehicles tried to stop him when he took off. The truck ended up careening into that bridge before catching fire. We're learning tonight that a firefighter from Ontario has died battling wildfires in British Columbia. The RCMP confirmed the 25-year-old was working with the BC Wildfire Service. He was killed when the UTV he was driving rolled on a steep drop of a gravel road. So far, we do not know his identity. Premier Doug Ford putting out this statement in a post. He wrote, "Our deepest sympathies go out to the loved ones, friends, and comrades of the young Ontario firefighter who tragically lost his life battling wildfires in BC." More than 24 Metro grocery stores in the GTA remain closed as thousands of workers are now on day 2 of that strike.
We can't even afford to shop at our own stores. That needs to stop. I definitely understand, like, people go on strike for the right reasons. It's unfortunate. I do think that they deserve to get paid more.
They walked off the job yesterday, closing operations at 27 locations from Brantford to Scarborough and Newmarket. Employees say they want better wages and working conditions. Now, they did reject an earlier deal, which the union endorsed when it was first tabled. Metro officials say the agreement was fair and equitable. When cannabis was first legalized nearly 5 years ago, you probably remember the boom in pot shops. But since then, many have struggled to stay afloat. Plenty of them have closed. Well, now the province says it will change its pricing structure. With more on what that could mean, here's Clara Pasica.
After a string of cannabis industry bankruptcies and closures, some are cautiously optimistic a change on the horizon could make things better for business. The Ontario Cannabis Store distributes all of the cannabis sold on the legal market here. But before cannabis products filled shelves like these, the Ontario Cannabis Store marked up what each licensed producer could charge by, on average, 31%.
Is a very significant proportion of the end cost that the consumer pays.
George Smitherman leads the Cannabis Council of Canada, representing licensed producers.
Cannabis has been quite lucrative for the Ford government because you've got the OCS making quite a lot of money.
Who it hasn't been as lucrative for? Those in the industry itself.
The economic environment within the regulated context has been pretty tough, and the scenario for a lot of companies is that they just can't find enough after fees and taxes and markups to be able to pay their bills and to justify what was a many billions of dollars of capital investment over the last number of years.
But now, the Ontario Cannabis Store is reducing its wholesale markup on most cannabis products by 6%.
We did a review over the last year and felt that it was the right time to look at changing our pricing approach.
Lobo says the change will save Ontario cannabis companies $60 million next year. But will it save customers any money?
You may see some categories be even a little bit more competitive than they have been to date.
But at least one cannabis retail chain says it might not make much difference for most customers.
Most products that consumers are buying today on shelves will remain fairly close to the same price.
Any chance at cheaper products was good news to this customer.
Yeah, cheaper, better, or more money and less problems for customers.
Ontario's revised markups take effect in September. Clara Pasica, CBC News, Toronto.
Mississauga MP Richie Valdez made history this week when she became Canada's first Filipina in federal cabinet. As Marina von Stackelberg shows us, her community is celebrating her appointment and even her portfolio.
Richie Valdez has taken on many jobs: a banker, a baker.
I was a previous business owner and I used to bake so much.
A TV show contestant. And now the first Filipino-Canadian woman to be a federal cabinet minister.
Richie Valdez.
It was a profound moment for me to know that I was representing the close to 1 million Filipinos now here in Canada.
Valdez represents one of the fastest growing populations in Canada, but one of the most politically underrepresented. She's only the second Filipino-Canadian member of parliament ever. Not since MP Ray Pagdican, a cabinet minister in the early 2000s, has someone of her background reached this level.
It's time for us to be heard. It's time for us to represent ourselves in Canadian democracy.
This restaurant owner says Valdez's appointment to small business minister is meaningful. Statistics Canada shows the percentage of Filipino Canadians who are self-employed is the lowest of any ethnic group in the country, at just under 5%.
Being a business owner myself, and having witnessed a lot of the obstacles that folks from our community face, it's not easy to start up a business coming from an immigrant community. Oh, we got the crisp new menus on here.
For Filipino Canadians, the pressure to have a stable income, in part to support family back home, makes entrepreneurship seem unreachable.
And oftentimes, being able to take another huge risk after making the tremendous risk of moving halfway across the world into a new country is very challenging.
While the Liberal government has brought in special programs to fund Black and Indigenous entrepreneurs, there's nothing similar for Filipino Canadians.
My hope is that now that I am here, I'll be able to put forward my ideas and recommendations that can better further support the Filipino community.
Valdez also hopes her story inspires others like her. Taking the risk is worth it, to be a business owner or even a cabinet minister. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
What a difference a day makes. Yesterday we saw all those festivals and events washed out. Today was then the day to get out and enjoy. Hey, Sophia.
Shannon, thanks for that. Yeah, it's ended up being a beautiful Sunday after a weekend that started off rather rainy. And if you like this easy breezy street, you're going to love the upcoming forecast ahead. It's not often that I say that we are entering a stretch that will become pretty sunny, maybe even a little bit cool with beautiful overnight sleeping weather. So I've jinxed it now that I'm knocking on wood here. And this is especially after we've come out of a July that was, as you know, rather stormy and had a ton of rain. Some communities saw almost double what we should normally see in July. August is starting off quite a bit cooler, but we still have a little bit of storm energy to get through. Monday afternoon, along the passage of this cold front, we could have some pop-up storms and maybe showers, especially for those communities between Hamilton and Niagara Monday afternoon. And then with the passage of this cold front, you will notice quite the chill in the air, especially Monday overnight and Tuesday morning. Folks, this is sweater weather, well, depending on who you ask. The chill stays in for Tuesday as well, with a temperature that is a couple degrees below seasonal. How long, though, will the calm last? I'll tell you all about it in the long range. Shannon.
Okay, talk to you soon.
And it's going to be another gold medal going the way of Summer McIntosh. What a star she is. A fantastic performance, a championship record there for McIntosh.
Yeah, what a star. Toronto's swimming sensation Summer McIntosh has done it again, picking up a second gold medal at the World Aquatics Championship. There she was, winning the women's 400-meter individual medley. The 16-year-old spoke to CBC after the big win.
It's been a really amazing night for Team Canada, and to be a part of those two medals is really, really something that I'll always keep to my heart. This whole meet, I think we've come back and been even stronger, and we're continuing to build the momentum heading into Paris, and I'm just so happy to be a part of Team Canada.
Okay, she becomes the first Canadian ever to win 4 gold medals at the World Championships. Canada finishing with 6 medals overall in the pool. Pretty amazing as they gear up for Paris next year. After a total rainout yesterday, an international cricket tournament in Brampton was back on today. Thousands of fans are in the stands, with 150 million more watching on screens around the world. As Patrick Swadden shows us, the competition is already proving to be a big win for the region.
These fans can't believe one of their cricket heroes is in Brampton. And Harbhajan Singh isn't the only international cricket star in town. Brian Lara is here, while other big names like Chris Gale and Shahid Afridi fill out the rosters for the 6 Canadian teams.
A tournament that brings cricket icons and legends to Canada is beautiful, and I think it's a gift to Canadian cricket, but it's certainly special to have in Brampton.
Mayor Patrick Brown saying cricket is the fastest growing sport in the country.
We can't keep up with demand in Brampton.
He says even as the city adds more cricket pitches, more than 400 teams are on wait lists and can't find facilities to play. That's something fans are hoping will change as tournaments like this bring more of a focus on the sport.
It develops more commerce, it develops cricket stores, it develops selling bats, gloves. The soccer pitch, the indoor soccer pitches that we have, they become cricket pitches.
The tournament's director, Jason Harper, says it costs about $12 million to put the tournament on. And most of that money going right back into the city of Brampton. But he also says it's having an impact on the field.
There's 40 or so Canadian players involved, playing with their heroes, the guys that inspired them from around the world.
Which Harper says is helping develop Canadian cricket.
They're seeing a pathway to perform in front of their families at the highest level on international television.
Players like Harsh Thacker, who represents Canada on the international stage, but is playing in the tournament for the Vancouver Knights.
It's very special, and you get to learn a lot from all these international stars.
The game continue, you will have more kids and teenage interested in it.
And that could be a big deal, as this team owner says there are talks of a North American league.
It's just a matter of a couple of years before you see this cricket becoming a mainstream sports in Canada.
Meanwhile, Brampton is trying to develop a multi-purpose cricket stadium that can be used all year round. Something that'll bring tournaments like this, or even bigger ones, back to Brampton.
Maybe one day we could host the World Cup of Cricket in Canada.
Patrick Swadden, CBC News, Brampton.
Okay, time now for a throwback for you. On this day, 20 years ago, Canada's biggest concert in history took over Toronto. That's the Rolling Stones taking the stage at Downsview Park in front of a crowd of almost 500,000 people for SARS Fest. Yeah, 20 years ago, Toronto was reeling from the deadly SARS epidemic that devastated the local economy. Well, that fundraiser there, you'll remember, was for healthcare and hospitality workers. We're heading into a short break. Here's more from the big show. Welcome back. Long before there were the Blue Jays and even the Toronto Maple Leafs, there were the Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball Club. Yeah, that's right. The franchise dates back to 1895, and now it's looking for a new owner. Tyler Cheese takes us to Christie Pitts, where the team has been playing for more than 50 years.
With a chance for the Leafs to expand the lead.
You've heard of the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team, but have you heard of the Toronto Maple Leafs baseball team?
The team started in 1895, which the amazing, it's 30 years before the Toronto Maple Leafs hockey team, which is sort of hard to believe.
The first iteration of the baseball team played in Toronto until 1967, when it was bought and moved to Louisville, Kentucky. That's when Jack Domenico saw an opportunity to keep the team going.
We went into the trenches and back-checked until we got it going. And I knew that I could see a future here because there was no baseball in this town.
This new version of the team predated the Toronto Blue Jays by almost a decade. They've played in Christie Pitts Park ever since, amassing a group of dedicated fans along the way.
Got a signed ball from like half their team, so I was really excited about that. Yeah.
We come here Sunday afternoons. We've been doing so for years. Bring the kids. A bunch of our friends come. It's a real gathering place for the community. Rich history of and tradition of baseball.
Anybody else like tickets for the draw?
Al Ross has been working with the team on and off throughout its entire history.
I sell tickets for the raffle, right? We don't charge admission here. And, so this is what we do in this place. We sell raffle tickets, and you can win a prize and support the team at the same time.
Fans and team management all attribute the team's success to Domenico's passion and dedication.
It was 24 hours. He spent 6 to 7 hours every day in his living room operating the sponsorship division of this team on the telephone constantly, okay? And it was 7 days a week.
Domenico died in January 2022, but the team is determined to find a new owner who will keep his legacy alive.
We've been approached by some people who want to move the team, and we're not interested in that. We've been approached by some people who want to make dramatic changes and have a ticket tape. We're not doing that. So it really is saying, okay, what would Jack have wanted?
While team management says they don't have a set price in mind, they're now accepting offers. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
And still talking baseball, a group of Canadian educators are such big fans of Shohei Ohtani, a superstar for the LA Angels, that they've started a fan club. Their goal is to celebrate his talent and character.
I mean, even from the beginning, when he first started back in spring training in 2018, he wasn't revered as high before, but, he improved, he worked out, and he just gained immense status. I mean, look at him right now, right? He's a superstar.
Club members getting together today to watch that superstar with the Angels take on the Jays. The club has more than 27,000 followers on social media. They're considered Canada's largest Shohei Ohtani fan club. Good day for Shohei and the Angels. They took the game 3-2. We're heading into a quick commercial break. We're back after this. Welcome back. You're about to meet a family with an incredible story. 8 of them have been playing Mass together for years at the Toronto Caribbean Carnival. The festival says their grandmother was the first woman to lead a band in the Carnival's 56-year history. We caught up with them earlier today.
As a family, our mother, Jessie Matthews, is the most successful band leader in Toronto's Caribbean Carnival history. And so for us as a family, we play Mass every year to keep our mother's legacy alive. She's actually still alive and she'll be playing Mass with us. So it's something that we do as a family every year. We have 3 generations, our mom, my sister and I, Sai, and then our kids, who are also going to be playing Mass.
I hope for one day me and my cousins and my sister to bring back my grandma's legacy and maybe start making costumes ourselves.
I don't think we do it enough in Toronto, so being able to look forward to Caravana, whether it's big people Caravana or kiddies, like for when I was younger, I always just looked forward to it because it was like the one time I got to celebrate my culture and be myself.
I hope to see more traditional costumes come back into play. Also to, you know, kind of just expand the love of it, kind of get more inclusive and involve more people all around Canada to take part in this beautiful festival.
Three generations, what a tradition. And of course, the big parade goes next weekend. Although, Sophia, I swear I heard you talk about something like sweater weather in August. I can't really believe that.
Shannon, thanks. Yes, I have promised a beautiful week ahead, but still a little bit of active weather to get through. Come Monday, not a washout of a day by any means, but there is a non-severe storm risk for really everybody in the southern portion of the province. More so for those of you from Hamilton to Niagara, where you could have a pop-up afternoon shower or even thunderstorm roll through. And then after the passage of this cold front, well, things are even a couple degrees below seasonal. Monday overnight, we mentioned how cool it is and that lovely overnight sleeping weather, and the temperatures that are about 3 to 4 degrees below seasonal. Even almost single-digit highs for those of you in parts of northern Ontario. Things are very nice and stable for Tuesday and Wednesday, though, and I wanted to mention this interesting little tidbit. When things are rather stable like this, we have more of a northern influence, and that can always mean this summer especially that we could have more wildfire smoke or poor air quality. That will be the case Monday for those of you in northwestern Ontario. That is all smoke coming in from the prairies and from northwestern Ontario. And you'll see that haze as well, especially into southwestern Ontario come Monday and Tuesday. But then after this dry and calm Tuesday and Wednesday period ends, another plume of moisture comes in from the south. And Thursday into Friday is the return of that humidity and another heightened storm risk Thursday into Friday. But Shannon, high confidence for the long weekend that the weather will be really good, especially Saturday and Sunday, and keeping my fingers crossed for that. And until then, enjoy the calm, slightly below seasonal, and really sunny stretch ahead.
Okay, thanks, Sophia. High confidence. We will hold you to that for next weekend, the long weekend. I can't believe it. It's almost here. That's our show for you tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.